Today I woke up and I've had good mornings and bad mornings recently in the sense that, some days I just wake up and it's like, oh, you know what I mean? And some mornings I wake up and I'm ready to go, jump in the shower, get ready, do whatever, and then get to work, right? Or do whatever I'm doing that day. And today was the latter. So that's obviously a good thing. And you feel excited for the day, you feel ready to conquer the day and you're enjoying what you're doing, things of that nature. So to that point, I wanted to speak a little bit about motivation, willpower, and specifically the idea of push versus pull motivation. I watched a video with Tony Robbins and he's speaking to Alex Hormozy, and the idea and the thought Tony Robbins brought up I thought was interesting, and it's very relevant to I think what I'm doing in my life and things of that nature. And I think there's a valuable lesson to be taken away from what he was talking about. So, he talks about willpower in relation to motivation, and I actually disagree with him on this. He says, willpower is a push motivation as opposed to a pull motivation, right? I'm going to talk about push versus pull in a second, but willpower, in my opinion, doesn't equal motivation at all. Willpower, I think, relates more to discipline. Motivation is and people, they talk about motivation versus discipline as well. That's a pretty frequent discussion and how those two vary, right? Obviously, motivation is something, you wake up and you feel like doing something, right? You're excited to do it versus discipline being something that, you're not excited to do and you don't want to do, but you do it anyway. Willpower relates more to discipline as opposed to motivation. But yeah, he talks about willpower being a push motivation as opposed to a pull motivation, which I'm going to talk about now. Push motivation, simply put, is something that's kind of forcing you to take action, right? My old football coach, he had a ton of great analogies, and I kind of want to make a video about all the things he used to tell us. But we would run sprints, and at the end of practice, and you're tired, right, and you're not really giving it your all. And he says, if I brought my pit bull out and had him running around the field, you guys would be hauling ass, running around, doing the sprints, whatever. So something to that effect. And he's right, you know what I mean? And that's kind of the idea behind push motivation, right? It's like you got something on your back, something on your tail chasing you, and you gotta keep going, right? Let's say, I don't know, you gotta pay rent, you gotta take care of your family, you gotta put food on the table. Like, that's pushing you to do what you have to do to be successful, right? So that's the idea of push motivation versus pull motivation. It's something you're chasing, right? I don't know if anybody has seen that clip of Matthew McConaughey after he won an Oscar, and he's like, "Who's my role model?" or something of that nature, and he's talking about myself in 5 years, myself in 10 years, this and that, and that's who he's chasing, right? And that's what pull motivation is. You're chasing something, whether it's a role model or I don't like talking about numerical figures in that sense, because that's not really pull motivation. You just want to achieve a certain metric and then maybe take your foot off the gas. That's not really motivation in my opinion. But yeah, pull motivation is anything that really just you jump out of bed in the morning, you're excited to do whatever you're doing, you have a mission, you have an objective, you're helping people, it could be making money, right? Because you want to achieve certain things. Like for my brother and I, we have a mixture of both, right? We have to take care of ourselves here, but there's things I want to achieve as far as taking care of my family, things of that nature. So it's a bit of both, but I always say it, money's important, but it's not the main thing for me personally. And if it is for you, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Money is incredibly important, but there's obviously more to life and things of that nature. But yeah, that pull motivation I think is so much more valuable than, let's say, push motivation, right? Where you see, maybe you have a vision for yourself, and you just chase it. You know what you want, and you're going after it, right? And I think once you find the vehicle to get there, that's really when things start blowing up for you, right? Because you know exactly how to get there. Let's say it's your career or whatever it may be, right? You want to help people, you want to solve the world's problems, things of that nature, whatever it may be, right? You found that vehicle and now it's just pedal to the metal, foot on the gas. You're chasing it. You're chasing it. You're driving after it. Whatever. It's a good metaphor, right? It makes the early mornings easier. It makes the late nights easier. It makes them worth it. And it makes you want to do those things, you know what I mean? So, and most importantly, it provides consistent enjoyment of your life. Like I said, people chasing numerical figures, you're doing it because you want to achieve that metric. And once you get there, it's like, boom, you take your foot off the gas and who knows what happens from there, right? You make money comes and goes, right? It flows, it fluctuates, it's energy. Just because you make $1 million doesn't mean it's going to be there forever. That's that, and that's your life, right? So, like, that's why I don't like looking at numerical figures in that sense, and that's why I don't see that as a good source of motivation. You really need to have purpose in life. That's what's going to bring you enjoyment, and that's how you're going to provide real value to the world. Ultimately, to come full circle, find that pull motivation that motivates you to get up every morning, get excited about life, and go achieve your dreams or goals, whatever it may be. So, and it could be anything, right? It could simply be, I want to take care of my family, and I'll do that by any means possible. You know what I mean? Obviously, maintain ethics and values and things of that nature. And I'm a firm believer in that, right? Don't cut corners and don't step on people to get to where you want to get to. So what I prompt everybody to do is take a notebook or a piece of paper or even in your phone and create two sort of maybe two tabs, two sections, whatever, push and pull. And then write three things that are pushing you towards your goal and three things that are pulling you towards your goal. I need to pay rent. I need to put food on the table. I have kids to take care of, whatever it may be, right? What's pushing me? What is forcing me to take action? And then pull, right? What is something I'm chasing that gets me excited to get up in the morning? Let's say anything, right? I want to solve world hunger. I want to retire my parents. I want to pay off, my family's debts or student loans, whatever, right? You know what I mean? So write those things down and put them somewhere where you can see them on a daily basis, right? Like I said, your phone, you have your notes, maybe make it a wallpaper. You have a notebook that you're writing in frequently. You see it every day when you open it, and it's a good reminder, right? It's like, okay, those are my motivations. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And my vision is clear. I know the goal. I know what action I have to take to achieve that goal. And I know exactly why I'm doing it. That's what I prompt everybody to do. Find your push. More importantly, find your pull and enjoy what you're doing on the way, right? That's the pull motivation. You enjoy what you're doing, doesn't feel like work or whatever it may be, and you'll achieve your goals because you're passionate about it. But most importantly, you'll be happy en route to achieving that, and that's important. You got to enjoy the journey, and yeah.